Cannot believe it. Hopefully next time, by this time next week, all of the chaos of the world will be settled. Hopefully it's not too much more. And we will, I don't know, whatever. So while we're waiting on people to join, I remind y'all to go to coopedup.com. That's my website. You can sign up for my newsletter there, all that kind of stuff. And then if you are on the gram, you can follow me on Instagram at I'm Cooped Up. That's how you find me there. And if you are on Reward Style, Like to Know It, that app, I'm also there, and it's Cooper Koch, Cooperkoch is my profile there, where I post sales and things that I like and all that kind of stuff. Hey, Mama, we missed you yesterday. I got your text this morning. So an update for everyone who was watching yesterday, and I was narking on some of my mom's antics when we were children, and I was like, ooh, she's either going to be mad or go with the joke. She was like, go with the joke. It's good. It's good. So I definitely get my sense of humor, and my sister does too, from our mother. Okay, so I stayed up too late last night. I am normally in bed by between 9:30 and 10, and I'm usually asleep between 9:45 and about 10:15. I'm pretty quick to go to sleep. Last night, for whatever reason, I decided, and also I don't take screens in my room. Very rarely do I take screens in my room. I leave them in the closet or on my desk here. The charger's on in the closet so that I don't have that temptation to look at my phone or anything in the nighttime. That's a change that I made about 2 years ago, and it's really, really paid off for me. Just not always having the screens there. But last night, for some reason, I brought my iPad to bed with me, and I started watching TikTok. And the next thing you know, the TikTok is addictive, y'all. Like the next thing I know, it is midnight and Todd wakes up. He'd already come to bed, fallen asleep, and he wakes up and he's like, you're still awake? And I'm like, oh shit, it's midnight. So a good 2 hours later than I normally go to sleep, just gone, just gone. And what's TikTok? 30-second increments a minute? I don't know. That's a lot of TikTok. And here's the thing, I wasn't even searching for stuff. Their algorithm just knows me. I went to that For You tab and just let it autoplay. And then I would swipe it occasionally, but I was not searching for things. I was not looking for things. It was just what they were showing me. I was watching. I laughed so many times. I don't know what was up with it, but I stayed up way too nice. And not having screens, it sounds like a really good idea. Sometimes we must disconnect and rest. Yes. Also, the screens are supposedly not good for your sleep patterns, like the light coming from the screens. It screws up the blue light and stuff. I have these that I wear sometimes. They're blue light glasses. I have a new pair that's on the way right now that's a little bit more stylish than these. From Pre-Revo, I think is the name of the brand, something like that. But other than that, I just think it also can keep you awake too much, and it just and also I don't like the power that it has that you wake up and it is the first thing you look at. Like, I don't like that it has that power over me that I'm immediately, instead of waking up on my own terms and thinking about my day and getting up as I normally would, I'm immediately being thrown into a different place, right? A different present. Either the news or social media, because, I love a Facebook moment, obviously. Or email or anything like that. I like just being able to do it. And TikTok is a rabbit hole. It is. Raven, you are right. It is a rabbit hole. And the creativity, I have to give it to TikTok. The creativity is so good. There's a lot of copycatting, but even the copycatting is usually kind of creative, and it takes skill and all that stuff. So it's one of the reasons I like Instagram so much too, is that you actually have to, you can't just throw shit on Instagram. It has to be a photo that represents something, all of that. Unlike here on Facebook, that would be my only complaint about Facebook, really, aside from how easy misinformation spreads. But information, on Facebook, you can be a lazy poster. You can just rip somebody or whatever. You can't really do that as easily on the other channels. You have to actually create content, think of new ways, and all of that stuff. So I really appreciate it for that. And it's just silly, and sometimes it's fun. But back to the screens in the bedroom. I rarely suffer insomnia, but I do wake up in the middle of the night sometimes, and it takes me 20 minutes to fall back asleep. I don't want a screen like in front of my face while I'm doing that. I just don't think it's possible to fall back asleep that way. Um, I'm actually rereading a book right now called The Power of Now. It's from Eckhart Tolle. I don't know how you say it, Tolle, something like that. Oprah recommended it a million years ago. She's actually recommended it again. I read it then and it reminded me that I wanted to read it again. And it is all about, it's all about being in the now, being in the moment, being present. But more importantly, it's about not overwhelming yourself with stimulus and stimuli and stuff like that, and just making the choice right now, the power of right now. The past is done, the present does not, or the future does not exist yet. And so just, if you just need to make the right choice, just make the right choice of the moment. And then when the new moment comes up, make that right choice. It's very like AA. For someone who drinks as much as I do, I certainly quote AA a lot. Between the Serenity Prayer and one day at a time and all that stuff, just make one choice at a time. And the next one, just try to always aim in that direction. But sometimes you're not going to. So I'm rereading that right now too. It's a good book. It is one of those books though, where I can't remember if I actually finished it the first time, because like The Secret and a lot of other self-help type books, it's based on one premise, and like the premise of this one obviously is the power of now. And then it spends 300 pages saying the same thing over and over and over again, which is different variations of the same thing. It's like sometimes I get through some of these books and I'm like halfway through them and I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, yeah, either give me some new information or yeah, not doing it anymore. So I'm not sure if I finished it the first time. I'm not sure I'm gonna finish it this time either, but we will see. The Seat of Your Soul is also a really good book to read, and it's kind of the same on that. It actually progresses though, but it's a good book too. Very deep thinking kind of stuff though about yourself. Um, totally different topic. Totally different topic. I figured out. Remember, my sister on here got in trouble for a comment that she made, and then Carrie made a comment, and then she got in trouble. Well, I got in trouble for a comment too, y'all. And my comment, and it wasn't on here, and it actually wasn't a negative statement. I was saying it as a jokey kind of thing. I used the phrase white trash, and that's the exact same phrase that Carrie used as well on a comment on mine. I don't remember what my sister said, but it flagged, I guess the bots in the Facebook sphere got through it, and so it's deemed hate speech. And I used it in the sense of, oh my God, that's so fabulously white trash. Like, I mean, it was kind of a backhanded compliment, but still, it wasn't hate speech. Maybe it's not the most flattering thing. Maybe I'm not supposed to be using that phrase anymore. But yeah, I guess that's the world we live in now, right? So I figured out the mystery, and that is the exact. I told Carrie just landed in California, and I texted her about it, and then she answered like as soon as she landed. She's like, "Oh my God, that must be the exact phrase. That must be the phrase." And she said they told me it was hate speech. I'm looking at my text on the screen there. So speaking of books, I'm finishing up Kamala Harris's book, The Truths We Hold. It is good. I didn't know much about her, so I decided to read about her life. Yeah, it's interesting. I haven't read that one. Michelle Obama's book, Becoming, is very good. I've not finished it yet. And we've talked about this before. I have trouble with books that have really long chapters because I could read 100 pages at a sitting, but I will not read a single chapter that is, or two chapters that are 50 pages, but I will read 10 chapters that are 10 pages. For some reason, I need that sense of accomplishment, I guess you will. So I need it to be broken up. And Michelle Obama's book it's like 400 pages, and it's like 6 chapters. It is so. But she finished. It's worth going to the end. I'm going to. I just keep putting it down and then keep forgetting to pick it back up. And I've got like 3 books going right now, which is, who am I? I'm reading now. Yeah, I was never really much of a reader before. And that's another reason why I have a Kindle, and I have just like a Paperwhite where literally the only thing this thing does is show me a book, right? And that is a screen I allow in my room. I got that book. I don't like reading on my iPad. I don't like reading on my iPhone because there's too many. I don't trust myself. There are too many other things pinging and popping up, and Facebook is always there. I'd rather just go and be sassy on Facebook than continue reading a book if I'm making a choice. So I have to reduce the available choices that I have to myself and put it. If you want the Cliff's Notes, listen to her podcast. Oh, it's supposed to be really good. I've not heard it yet either. The problem with not going anywhere is that when am I going to listen to a podcast? I'm never in the car. Even when I am in the car, I don't go anywhere. So, alrighty. Do y'all like falling? Falling Back is this weekend, Saturday night at 2 a.m. We get an extra hour of 2020. Yay! What? Exactly. I love the fallback. A lot of people don't. I don't like waking up in the dark. And I wake up between 6:30 and 7. So I don't wake up extremely early. I'm not like you, some of y'all. Like my sister, I think, wakes up at like 4:30 in the morning or something like that. Like you're gonna be in the dark regardless of what time you wake up. But I 6:37 is when 6:45 is when I normally wake up. I don't like it when it's pitch black outside. I just do not like that at all. And our bedroom has a sunroom off of it, and that's on my side of the bed too. So if I'm laying on my side and looking out, I can normally see like our backyard and the woods behind us and all that kind of stuff. So, and Raven wants, can we just give an hour back? Maybe it's a reset because all this went to hell around the time that we sprang forward. So maybe if we go backwards, maybe it's like hitting the reset button. Hopefully, I don't know. And Crystal, yes, I do have Spotify. I don't listen to pod. No one in my family likes listening to stuff like that, and so I have to listen to it on my own, and I don't really do that. I'm happy to not drive to school in the dark for a few weeks. I know. And a lot of people don't like that it's so dark when they get out. I don't mind that because once I get home, I don't want to have any motivation to go anywhere else. So give me a bright morning and a dark evening over a dark morning and a bright evening. And right now there's really neither, right? I used to be a night person, but I want light in the morning now. I think that's with age too. I've always been an early to bed person. I've never been a person. It used to murder me on the weekends when we would go out and we would hit the clubs or the bars or whatever at 10:30 at night. I was already like, okay, y'all, I'm gonna be here till midnight and then we're gonna go to bed. I was always that person. I was always the person when we came home from, if we all came to our house after going out and stuff, I'd be like, peace out, y'all have fun, I'm going to bed. Like I've gone to bed during parties at our house before. Like straight up, we've had parties and I'm like, I'm tired, I'm going to bed. See ya. Or sometimes I won't even say see ya. If it's like a party for Todd's work people or whatever, I'll just tell Todd, hey, I'm going to bed. And then I go up, I don't make a grand exit. What do they call that? An Irish exit? There's some phrase for it when you just kind of ghost out. And it's actually considered, did y'all know that ghosting from a party is actually considered the more proper etiquette? It is better etiquette to just, if you're at a party, to disappear, and not your own party necessarily. I may be a little rude on that, but like if you're at somebody else's party, it's actually better to just leave than to make some grand spectacle of you leaving and saying bye and basically telling the host, hey y'all, I don't have any more time for you. Peace out. Do you know that? I've always been told it's rude to leave without saying goodbye, and I just read about it not too long ago. It is actually, I don't know why, it had been more than not too long ago because who's writing about parties right now? Yeah. Oh, and woke up this morning with a phone call, a real crackly phone call from my in-laws. So they live near Asheville, They live in between Asheville, North Carolina, and Spartanburg, South Carolina, on the North Carolina side of the border, outside of a little town called Landrum. And they just got hit by that tropical storm overnight. They said it was like crazy. Like, who thought that far in? I mean, that's hours in that it would still be a tropical storm. It blew over a bunch of trees. It knocked out their power. They don't have internet either. The phones are barely working. The cell phones, the telephones weren't working at all. The cell phones are barely working. They managed to get off their property, drive through the driveway. Like I said, to wind around some trees and stuff that had fallen. Lots of fallen trees. And that's where they have they're okay, by the way, they're okay. That's where they have those pine trees that are like this big around and go like 20 stories in the air, it looks like. Probably not that tall, but 10 stories in the air maybe. And they fall over so easily. And so the wind came through and just knocked over all of that stuff. And so Todd's a little freaked out because the first call we got, it was like, Todd, and then it dropped. And he's like, what's going on? What's going on? And then we tried to do the Find Friends because we have on our phone, we have them on the Find Friends app so that you can see where everybody is. And they weren't pulling up on there because their cell phone service was out. And so we couldn't, and their internet wasn't on. So didn't know where that was or what was going on with that. And so, Todd, being the German he is, always assumes the worst in things. I always say a German optimist believes that the glass is half full of something that will kill you. And so finally we got a hold of them. Everything is fine. They just don't have power. And he's been checking it all day and they still don't have it right now. So we'll see. Hopefully it's not too long. But it's weird. I mean, that far in, almost to Asheville, North Carolina. And I was reading about it. They think that this is going to stay a tropical storm like through America. And like then finally when it hits wherever it's going, Pennsylvania, something, I don't know. It's going to veer into the ocean and possibly turn into a hurricane again. Isn't that crazy? I mean, what is up with the fucking web? And it's Hurricane Zeta. Like, have we run out of names and now we're going to the Greek alphabet? And where is Zeta? Zeta's not Z, right? Like, we haven't blown through 52 named storms, have we? Please tell me we haven't. I hope not. Thumbs up on your sweater. Are the shoulders suede? Yes, they are. It's a cotton like ribbed sweater with suede shoulders. Love it. Unfortunately, it means it has to be dry cleaned. But this is another one of those attract the eye upward and distract from the lower section. The more I love an epaulette. I love anything kind of quasi-military, things like that. Funny enough, Eric, you may be the only one who finds this funny or not funny. I've seen Jared Kushner in this same sweater. It's from J. Crew. It's not like specific designer. But early on in the presidency, he had this exact same sweater on. So I always joke that it was my Jared Kushner sweater. I'm not going to do that anymore. But and hopefully we can just forget about them soon. Oh my God, please. But yes, it's all about the. If there's anything I have learned from drag queens in my life, and there's a lot of drag queens in my life, it is contouring, shading, and the art of distraction. And that's what this is. Anything I can do to make my shoulders look bigger and attract more, because it's all about the face for me, the face and the hair. The more I can attract to here, and I'm so tall, so you have to look up at it anyway, which helps distract. I'm there for it, right? So what else? I did that at a work party and got a call halfway home. Where did you go? I'd screen the call. Where did you go? I'm tired. If I wanted to hang out, here's the other thing. People talk about like corporate culture and stuff and everyone like having happy hours and events and stuff. I'll do stuff with my staff, but we do it during the business day. Like if I want to take everyone to the movies, we will do it in the middle of the business day. If I want to take everyone to the state fair, we're going to do it during a weekday. If I want to take everyone to go do bumper cars or something like that, we're going to do it during the day. If we're going to drink, we're going to do it during the day. I don't like the idea of forcing a bunch of 20-year-olds to hang out with my 46-year-old ass. Because I know when I was 20 years old, I didn't want to do that. I also think that, I don't know, I just think it's just, I don't like the after hours forced camaraderie kind of thing. Some people are really into that. That is just not my game. So we'll do a Christmas lunch. Like I took, in years past, I've taken them like to the mansion for a big lunch, and to other places like that. But yeah. What are you saying? Yes, forget. I don't know what that's in relation to, Amy. I can't remember what I was talking about 20 seconds ago. Oh, there's a house. I queued this up even. So there is a house. I'm going to show it in stream here. So there's a house here, and it's going to throw a link to the comments, I believe. It's supposed to, of an article about this. So there is a house here in Dallas. See, there it is. It's showing up now. Where they have such a gory, gruesome Halloween display that people have been calling the cops, and the cops keep having to go by and ask, "Is this your house? Is everything okay?" All that kind of stuff. Look at this. That is so gross. So there's a guy with it's like a hatchet through his head on the roof. There's a guy right below it with a safe that's exploding his head, and I have a closer up picture of that in a minute. There's another guy who has like a chainsaw on his back. You see that wheelbarrow? Supposedly that wheelbarrow is a bag that looks like it's busting open, full of decomposing body parts. And there's the bag on the floor too. See it right there? I don't know if you can see that, but that is gross. And here is another. Actually, let me see if I can make that. Oh no, wrong way. That's not much better, right? So here is, okay, let's hide that one, and I'm gonna show you it. This is that close up. Look at that. The head literally, and this is an artist. There's an artist that did this, so it's very, very detailed. The look at that head exploding under the safe. Supposedly, with all the rain we've been having, he's been having to go out and like hose it down and then put more blood out there. And he's literally standing out there. People are walking by like, "What's going on?" He goes, "Just water on the bodies." That's the article. You'll link to it. Isn't that the grossest thing? That is terrifying to me. Some people are into that. I mean, I'm into Christmas decorating, so I'm not going to judge. But still, ew, gross. Oh yes, forget. Okay, that makes sense. Yes, I am so nervous. I am so nervous. That's all I'm gonna say about that. And yeah, they were all in from out of town and wanted to stay at the hotel room bar late, and I was like, "Heck to the no." I agree. I don't want to do that. I know. It's not just because you're away from your family doesn't mean I want to be, or just away from my own bed. Um, I bet their HOA would have a fit. I bet your HOA would. It's in an area that it's in the city. It's in the M Streets area of East Dallas, and so there's not like a neighborhood association. I mean, there's a neighborhood association, but it doesn't have any sort of like uh, legislative power or whatever, like to enforcement power. Yeah, that's gross though. It is scary. It was, yeah. It's over in the M Streets. If you're driving around, I'm sure there's probably a line to see it. Um, you know, if we were in an HOA, I'm sure our house would be ticketed constantly for how gaudy it is at Christmas. So we'll see. Have I watched Borat yet? I have not. But you know what? I have mad appreciation for Borat. I think it's Borat. At first, it's easy to write Borat off as like just silly and stupid and juvenile, but in reality, the social commentary and the research and the facts that he's doing, Giuliani step aside and all that kind of thing. Just generally speaking, this is what his third movie, maybe I think, or at least the second because it's the sequel. But it is so smart. Like it is so smart at getting people. I don't know how people take that seriously though. Seeing that person dressed up like that, like how are they thinking this is a serious conversation I'm gonna have with this person? And where are the cameras? I don't remember that. I think it's so smart. Like the humor is hilarious. I think that he does such a good job with them. Now, if you are the object of his critique or his commentary, you might not like it very much. But isn't that the same for a lot of things? What else was I going to talk about? Bars are starting to reopen here in Dallas, and they're doing it through trickery. They are, if you order a drink, they are requiring that food come with it. So then they're charging you for the food. And so like if you order a drink and they charge you $5, they're giving you like a side of French fries with it. And they're reporting to the state that the fries are costing $4 and the drink was $1. So they're technically classified as a restaurant at that point because 75% of the income is food. Just shit, bullshit. And I understand if you own a bar and all that stuff, you got to make a living, especially if that was your living, right? So I get it. I get that. I try to see things from many angles as possible and what people's motivations are for things. But I'm seeing like online, people are so excited. Like the Throckmorton Mining Company, which is a big gay bar here, is opening with great fanfare. Granted, they have a patio and they're doing temperature checks and all that kind of stuff. But people are like, yay, we can go back now. I'm like, no, you should not want to go back. Like, I mean, I feel bad for the bar owners, but people should not want to be in bars right now. And I know I say don't shoot yourself to death, but you should not be in a bar right now. So numbers are going up a lot again. Europe is shutting down. Remember, they did it before us. We don't want that again. Although I don't think we would shut down completely. And then the government released its vaccine rules yesterday about how paying for them also. So if you are a senior citizen or you have private insurance, it is required that the vaccine be free. That was the thing. So it's required that it be at no cost to you if you have private insurance or you are a senior citizen. And then for everyone else, if you don't have private insurance, they are required to openly publish a cash price for paying for it. And then people who are insured even can choose whether to pay for it or not. And I think the insurers can as well. Get news-ish. I always say, take what I'm saying in the directionality of it, not necessarily the specificity of it. But and Fauci is saying more than 40% of those who are infected show no COVID symptoms. I know. That's what's scary, right? And like I told y'all before, we are going to celebrate Thanksgiving with Todd's parents, but we are taking precautions. They already live in quarantine. Like that's like a lifestyle for them. They live in the middle of nowhere. We're taking the kids out of school a week earlier so that we will have a full 2 weeks, a full 14 days before we even arrive. They are the kids are really our main quarantine break, if you will. I occasionally have a meeting with the architect of my kid's school or the roofing contractor or something like that. But I wear a mask and I try to stay away from people, and I encourage them to wear masks as well. But we won't be having that week either. And so a full quarantine before we go to see them. And then we'll be in the RV and we're going to drive out. And we're really good in the RV about not socializing, not getting around other people. We try not to even go to stores or anything. We try to be as self-sufficient as we possibly can. So that's how we're doing it. But I don't think that a lot of people are going to be able to do that. Like we are we have the luxury of, we can pull kids out of school if we want to. We can work from home if we want to. We have a mobile home basically at this point and a Jeep that we can drag behind it to take with us out there. So we are privileged. I get that. But a lot of people aren't. So I think that we're going to see a spike after Thanksgiving. And a lot of people are conflicted. They're like, well, we don't want mom to be alone. I'm like, you also don't want mom to be dead, right? Don't kill mom. No turkey is worth that. Don't kill mom or dad or grandma or whatever. Let's see what else. Oh, the Girl Scouts. Oh, let me go back to COVID real quick. Y'all help me understand something. I don't know a lot about baseball. I do know that the LA Dodgers won in the World Series, and it was here that it happened. But explain to me, I thought how did that one player, Justin, what's his name? I wrote it down. Justin, son of a bitch. Justin Turner. How did he get COVID? I thought they were in a bubble. Like I thought, so obviously he's been doing the nasty or something outside of the bubble, right? Like I think they're investigating that actually, because if you're in the bubble and you think you're in a bubble, you're probably behaving in ways that you would not be behaving had you known that the bubble had been pierced, right? And so that's the thing. And how many times am I going to say bubble? But that'll be interesting to see. And unfortunately, it puts a big scar on their win, which I think already had some asterisks next to it anyway, didn't it? The national news is showing the murder house you just showed us. I scooped them. I got it from local news as well, the Observer here. Crazy. Oh, I bet they're particularly gory if it's on video, seeing it. I have no idea if there's sound effects to go with it. I can't. There's some house in LA also, I think, or somewhere like that has where it looks like the house is on fire, and it is the fire department has been called multiple times because it is so realistic what they've done with fans and sheets in the windows and the lights that make it actually look like the house is burning. Crazy. And then what else was I want to talk about? Girl Scouts pissed everybody off today. Did you see this? So they sent out a tweet on when did the new Supreme Court justice get confirmed? Was that Tuesday night? I lose track of when wins what. I think it was Tuesday night. So on Wednesday, I believe they sent out a tweet congratulating only the 5th woman to be appointed to the Supreme Court. And it had photos of her and Kagan and Sotomayor and Ginsburg and O'Connor, right? So the 5 women. I'm pretty fucking smart if I knew that, right? Just off the top of my head. The it had little pictures of all of them. And that is, I mean, whether you like her or not, it is a monumental thing that, well, and it's also a shameful thing that only 5 women of the over 100 that we've had, only 5 women have been amongst that group, right? And so they sent that out. And then people started getting all pissy about making it a super political thing. How dare you praise her, blah, 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 blah. So then took it down to try to appease those people. But then the other people were like, what the fuck, cancel culture. And actually, funny enough, I follow all of my elected officials, even if I don't agree with them. I saw it on Ted Cruz's thing. He's like, shame on Girl Scouts. And so then I did a little research on it and found out some more. So everybody's pissed at the Girl Scouts right now because they were honoring a woman who, by the way, politics aside or whatever, I have a friend, I have a friend, Beth, from Austin, who went to school with Amy Coney Barrett, went to school with her, and I think Louisiana or something, went to Catholic school with her, wherever she grew up, and says that she's actually like an amazing person, very driven, very smart. And by the way, Beth she used to be in politics for Democrats here in Texas. So she's a liberal, to be in politics for Democrats in Texas, you have to be pretty damn liberal because otherwise, I don't know. But so she was coming to this woman's defense, Amy's defense, saying she is a hard worker person. She has earned everything she's gotten, all this kind of stuff, right? And she's like, I don't agree with the damn thing she says. I don't believe with the damn thing that she believes, but don't strip out that she has earned this in a way, right? Whether you like it or not, whether you like the process or not, all of that kind of stuff. So I thought that was interesting. And so that's where I side with the Girl Scouts on like, yes, this is a big deal. It's a big fucking deal that there is now only the 5th woman to get this. And then everyone just loses their mind. I detest everything that woman stands for, but I've heard from people how smart she is. I don't fault her for this nomination. And the shenanigans around it. Yeah, that's what Beth said basically too. You probably know Beth. She was basically like whip smart woman, driven, like everyone has such great things to say about her, even if they don't agree with the damn thing she said, believes in, right? Your shirt would be cute with a denim shirt underneath too. Love winter layers. Yes. And I am here for a chambray denim moment. I love denim shirts. The only reason I wore the white one is because this is the same shirt I wore yesterday under my other sweater. And I didn't go anywhere yesterday and I didn't go anywhere today. So I wore the same shirt twice. So Dave's got some comments. I'm not talking about, I don't know. I'm not even going to get into that. That's not what the point of this was. It was more about the Girl Scouts. Let's go back to chambray and denim. And then Walmart's pulling guns. They've done it before, but they're in advance of just kind of everything that's, God, y'all, next week. I am so nervous about next week. And I know a lot of y'all are as well. And I'm not only nervous about it, like what the outcome is going to be, I'm worried about the reaction to the outcome. Like, is it going to be anarchy? Is it going to be like, I'm an optimist usually, and I believe most people are sane and that most of the craziness is usually just a very vocal, small amount of people doing shit. But I'm generally worried. And obviously the people at Walmart are too. They're pulling guns and ammunition off of their sales floors. You can still buy them. This is where I'm kind of like, but you can still buy them, but you have to like go and like a manager has to do it and they're locked up in the back and all that kind of stuff. They're not on the sales floor anymore for you to buy or just be able to loot and grab and all that kind of stuff. So I thought that was interesting that they're thinking ahead. So I don't know what next week is going to do, but y'all, everyone just pray for our country. Just pray for our country. So Um, I think that's all I have got. Other stuff I can talk about tomorrow. I'm getting real good about making these lists, and then I'm like, I don't want to talk about all that. Plus, I'm at 35 minutes. I need to go anyway. I am worried about the reaction as well. Yeah, I'm that's honestly that is what my I am more worried about the reaction than all of that. Is Walmart pulling guns before election count? Yes, it is. That's what's going. They announced just within the last 2 hours or so. They announced that they are pulling guns and ammunition from their sales floors, and you can still buy them, but you have to like find someone, and like a certain salesperson has to get them. I news-ish, keep that in mind. But so, and Aaron's worried about his reaction. Well, girl, drunk is going to be either celebratory or drinking away the misery, right? So either way, I think Wednesday is the day everyone should take off from work, right? Not Tuesday. Let's see if y'all are saying anything else. Love the shirt, Coop. Thank you, Allison. Good to see your pretty face. And you like a denim shirt too. I love that picture of you. Yeah, okay. Well, that's it. Well, tomorrow is Friday. We've made it to the end of the week. Tomorrow evening is when we are going to do a very, very abbreviated trick-or-treating in our neighborhood. The neighborhood actually immediately next door to ours. Thank you, Jody, for the tip. And we'll do that at 6 o'clock. And I guess, I mean, that's it for us. And then we'll be done for the weekend and turning clocks back and all that stuff. So I'll see you tomorrow at 4:30. I love you. It's important to know you're loved. Love that you watch this. Thank you for the therapy. I appreciate it. I actually have to finish with some Halloween costumes tonight with the kids. They've asked me for some help printing some stuff out or something. So I don't know. And so otherwise, I am going to see you tomorrow at 4:30 for another episode of Cooped Up Live. Shit Koopa says. See ya.